May I have you, ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please? This is your captain speaking. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm not going to say anything on a personal note. There are so many distinguished guests, starting from the first to the last row. Let us welcome everybody with a big applause. Go ahead. Ladies and gentlemen, there are two important, crucial questions we will be circulating around. How to make the European integration deeper, and how to make the transatlantic cooperation stronger. Let us start to predict future. Enjoy Wrocław. All the best. Thank you very much.
Mayor Dutkiewicz, you are, as usual, a man of very important words and very few words in this situation. But thank you so much for having us here again. It's an honor to be partner again with the city of Wrocław and now with our new partners at the Polish Institute of International Affairs. Let me read one quote that sort of sets the tone for what this whole meeting is about. And it's Foreign Minister Radek Sikorski from a few days ago in Washington, D.C. He said, quote, "Europe has unfinished business. Ideas and policies that won the Cold War are under pressure, especially to the east of our borders. Dictatorship in Belarus, corruption in Ukraine, frozen conflicts in the Southern Caucasus, Russia, a chapter in itself. US-EU teamwork and leadership remain the only way to make a difference. We need to stand tall to be proud of what makes us strong, prosperous, and stable," unquote. The reason I mentioned that quote from Foreign Minister Radek Sikorski is it's important not to just come to a conference, but to also understand the reason for the conference and that there's a cause behind bringing together this really important community of influence. I'm Fred Kempe. I'm President and CEO of the Atlantic Council, and on behalf of the Atlantic Council, our Chairman, General Brent Scowcroft, his Board of Directors, our International Advisory Board, it is my immense pleasure to welcome you to our 4th annual Wrocław Global Forum. And as I said in my opening comments, this year's forum couldn't come at a more crucial time. Later this month, the European Union and the United States are expected to launch groundbreaking negotiations on the Transatlantic Trade and Investment Partnership, a partnership that would not only transform transatlantic economic ties, making the US-EU relationship stronger than it has ever been before, but perhaps seize the last opportunity the US and EU will have to set global norms for free markets in the way that we would like them to operate. This project promotes innovation, economic growth, and spurs job creation. It offers the best chance in years to reinvigorate the transatlantic economy and provide global leadership of the US and EU together on free trade, international investment, or regulatory harmonization. And just as great as the opportunities are, there are risks if this does not go ahead. So this is one of the issues we'll talk about here. It's actually fitting that we do this in Wrocław. In the last 4 years, there's been $1.5 billion of new investment in Poland from the United States. In the last little while, our investment has tripled to Poland from the United States. Nearly 1/4 of that investment is taking place in the Wrocław region. It just shows how dynamic and what an attractive place for investment you've made this area, Mr. Mayor. 17 companies are invested in this area, and once you've created a community like this, it will grow, so we hope to support that as well. At the same time, another issue, global energy supplies and markets are facing a great transformation, a transformation that could provide a significant opportunity for the Americas and Europe, and of course, Poland. The U.S. is in the midst of an energy revolution, and it's expected to become energy independent by 2030 and a net energy exporter. There's a change of the global, of the geopolitics of energy that's underway now. And of course, as always, we look at this conference at the values of democracy, human rights, and rule of law. As we've done for the last 4 years, the Atlantic Council will host its annual Freedoms Awards tomorrow evening right here. They were inaugurated 2009 in Berlin, and we've moved them here, recognizing not only the dynamism of Wrocław and the role of the mayor here, but also Poland's historic struggle for freedom and its special role in supporting democracy globally. We could think of no better place for this event. So on Friday evening, we will honor His Excellency Tadeusz Mazowiecki, former Prime Minister of Poland, for enacting democratic reforms that transform not only Poland, but the entire region. We will present an award to the European Humanities University for providing Belarusian students with a free and democratic environment to pursue their education, even after state expulsion. We will also salute Malala Yousafzai, the young Pakistani activist whose courage to speak out in support of the right to education of women, despite threats to her life, is an inspiration to activists worldwide. And finally, the Atlantic Council will present its first Diplomat for Freedom Award, presented posthumously to Mark Palmer, former U.S. ambassador to Hungary at the time of these historic democratic transitions. His career will be used as a model for us, and we hope to give this award out in the future to diplomats around the world who stand up for democracy and human rights. Finally, I just want to do a couple of thanks. Mayor, I'm honored to co-host this forum in Wrocław and look forward to continuing this annual effort with you and your incredible team. Thank you for everything you do. Special thanks also go to our partner, the Polish Institute of International Affairs, under the leadership of Chairman Prime Minister Bielecki and Director Marcin Zaborowski. This institute has played an enormous role in ensuring that this year's program that you're about to enjoy addresses the most crucial substantive issues and engages the highest caliber of experts. Thank you to the Secretariat of the Wrocław Global Forum and Magda Piasecka, whose staff has worked tirelessly to make sure the next 2 days will run without a hitch. I'm very grateful to our own Vice President of the Atlantic Council, Fran Burwell, who has led our charge here, and also to the many volunteers who are there. I do want to also thank and talk about the debt of gratitude we owe to the U.S. Embassy in Poland and Ambassador Stephen Mull, as well as the Polish Ministry for their instrumental role in this initiative, and Minister Radek Sikorski, also Ambassador Richard Schnepp, a very capable Polish ambassador in Washington who will co-chair, honorary co-chair the Freedom Awards with Ambassador Stephen Mull. And last, and certainly not least, thank you to Maciej Witucki, the CEO of Orange Polska, and our Atlantic Council Board Director in Poland. It is no exaggeration to say that this forum would not exist without him and his vision. Maciej, it's an honor to have you as a board member. Thank you for everything you do. And then thank you to all our speakers who traveled to Wrocław to share their expertise with us, and to our many esteemed audience members. Your engagement is what will make this forum a success. So without further delay, let me turn to my friend and colleague, Marcin Zaborowski, Director of the Polish Institute of International Affairs. Marcin.
Well, now, ladies and gentlemen, I have a bit of a dilemma here. You can't see it, but we have a timer on a screen here which says that our time is up. So I will try to keep it as brief as possible, but still there is a feature here in the program which I have to fulfill, which may delay a little bit the program. Also, it is really difficult to follow in the footsteps of two men who were here at the very inception of this project. I mean, the Wrocław Global Forum would have never happened, would have never been possible had it not been for a meeting between these two men, who are also joined by Maciej Witucki, who, with his usual modesty, takes no credit for that. They all met up and they decided that Poland needed a serious transatlantic debate and that Wrocław is the right place to host it. And incidentally, I would love to hear more about the details of this meeting. It should be very interesting one day. Now, the Polish Institute of International Affairs that I represent is a latecomer to this project. And we are truly delighted to be involved. As you can imagine, putting up the project, the conference like that is a really enormous task. The traveling schedules of participants, speakers, they keep changing all the time. You have late cancellations, US government is in transition, the weather may be not right this time, actually it works very good. So really, the night before you think this is just not going to happen, it's impossible. And then the day arrives, and as it was the case before, I think we are not disappointed at all. We have great speakers lined up. We have the support of the Polish Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and we really appreciate the role here of Ambassador Schnepp, who is here with us. We have also Minister Sikorski, who will join us shortly. And we have the excellent logistics organized here by the city of Wrocław. And naturally, we have yourself, a great guest and audience that makes events like that what they are, meaning useful and also great fun. Now, every year, there are some significant events that underlie the discussions that take place at the forum. And I might say that looking at the former editions of Wrocław Global Forum, you can say that certain things which were being said here were projecting the future. I think we're projecting the future in the right way. I remember a conference 2 years ago. We had a discussion about the Arab Spring. When everyone was talking that the Arab Spring is like 1989. And that was really the spirit which seemed to be dominating in the press, in media, and so on. And I remember our Minister of Foreign Affairs, Radosław Sikorski, saying at the time, with caution, please don't be so over-enthusiastic about it. 1989 was 1989. Here, situation is more complex, and this kind of comparisons may prove to be overstretched. And I think that 2 years on, wiser of the experience of the recent developments in Egypt and Tunisia and Libya, we might say that indeed, democracy, march to democracy is a long enterprise. It takes a long time, and no comparisons of this sort really make sense. Last year, we hosted here Witali Klitschko. He made an appearance here. He was very popular. Everybody wanted to talk to him. I'm not sure that was because of his political status at the time. There were many other reasons for that. But today we know that Mr. Klitschko's party represents a third force in the Ukrainian parliament. It represents the force that can't be ignored. And we also know that that man can become a player in the future. That wasn't that obvious a year ago. And in that sense, it's important that events like that, happen, that they can highlight and project some tendencies to come in the future. This year, as every year, we will discuss democracy, economy, and security. These are three pillars of every single Wrocław Forum, which might be followed up by Washington Forum one day, I hope. And I think the truly defining factor for EU-US relations in the years to come may prove to be the transatlantic trade and investment partnership. Should the currently negotiated scheme prove successful, and it's a big if, but if it does, it may be a real game changer. And a real game changer not just for our relationship, but for the entire world. As you know, EU and US trade between themselves more than 50% of global goods. But there are also normative factors here and security factors to take into consideration. We are all democracies. We represent the same system of values. And our relationship is also underlined by the existence of the Northern Atlantic Alliance. Hence, I very much look forward to the debate which will follow very soon after that intervention, which will be chaired by Jan Krzysztof Bielecki, who I'm proud to say is the chairman of the Polish Institute of International Affairs Board, and also a great supporter of the Wrocław Global Forum. A discussion on the European Global Strategy is another major item on our agenda. The EGS, as it's known, European Global Strategy, was conceived by 4 foreign ministers of Poland, Spain, Italy, and Sweden. These 4 foreign ministers tasked 4 think tanks from the respective countries. We were part of that project. And I'm delighted to say that today the debate on the EGS, on European Global Strategy, will be supported in a sense that it will be attended. We will have the Polish and Italian foreign ministers speaking on that, as well as Joschka Fischer, the former German foreign minister, Jan Techau of Carnegie Europe, and Steve Hadley, the former national security advisor in the United States. Now, over 10 years into the adoption of the European security strategy, the new document is attempting to sketch out a global role for Europe. That may seem an odd exercise. Everybody's talking about the great difficulty of the EU these days, but I think it's only natural that the largest trading bloc in the world and the first economic partner in the world should have its own foreign policy role carved out for itself. So the EU must find its feet to act as a global player. Every year there are many current topics we discuss. This year, obviously, there will be questions of EU neighborhood, EU Euro membership for Poland, which may prove a defining factor for us in the years to come. We also have many security questions, including defense industry and NATO enlargement. Now, the Wrocław Global Forum includes many government officials, and it facilitates dialogue between members of administrations. But it is not a government-run enterprise. It was conceived as a civic initiative with the thought that transatlantic dialogue is multifaceted. Security is an important aspect of it, but it also has many other aspects, such as economy, trade, and politics, the issue of values. As old-fashioned as it may sound, the message of this event has always been about the promotion of freedom, about promoting freedom in economic relations, but also in politics. That is obviously highlighted here very much by the Freedom Award dinner, which is hosted by the Atlantic Council. And I think that the fact that Wrocław Global Forum remains a civic initiative in which the city of Wrocław is so strongly engaged, and many business leaders, some of which we see here in this room, without these business leaders, events like that would never be possible, and a dialogue that we very much need wouldn't have happened. So I think we should start appreciating their role in that process also.